All right, good evening, you guys. Hello from freezing cold South Dakota. It's Nikki Elsing. I'm a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and wellness coach, and I am so glad you're here. We're going to spend about the next 30 minutes just talking a little bit about my absolutely favorite thing that I have done as a dietitian that has truly brought the best people into my life, and it has been so exciting. And you guys, I have to tell you, let's see, it's the 11th today, and on the 1st of the next month will be my 10-year anniversary doing this, which absolutely blows my mind. So, back 10 years, I was probably sitting there just like you guys are, just kind of checking it out, seeing what it is. What is this LifeVantage thing all about, and why do I need to know it? And tonight, I'm excited to be able to share some of this information with you, and really just want you to kind of think outside the box, think about prevention, wellness, health, your family's health differently, and know that there's a way to be able to take a very proactive approach to it. Instead of a lot of times, we're very reactive. So we just want you to really take that opportunity to be able to just take it all in and, of course, ask questions. I'm not going to be having questions at the end. However, whoever invited you onto this tonight will definitely go through that information with you and answer any questions and get you what you need to know. So on that note, let's go ahead and get started. So like I had said, LifeVantage is an amazing company that I'll tell you a little bit more about. This is just a disclosure statement telling you, everybody's journey is unique and different through life, as it is in LifeVantage. So we want to make sure that we have this, because I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the money that people are making in LifeVantage, if that's something that you're interested in, as being a distributor. So we'll go through that at the very end of the presentation. So let's get back to it. So I know everybody's busy. I know you've got a lot of stuff going on, but I'm excited to teach you how you can flip the switch and how you can feel better and do more. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. Now I'm a mom to 2 teenagers. 10 years ago, they were much, much younger, and I love it. I'm home all the time. I get to spend all this time with them and just able to be an active participant in their personal lives and lives. I don't know if the teenagers are as excited about that anymore, but it really makes me happy. So I'm a registered dietitian. I grew up, so to speak, in cardiovascular nutrition and heart disease and heart health, but then also realized that there's this huge gap that people don't have enough support and enough resources to be able to reach out and get the information they need, right? We all come to this with a different story. We all come to this with a different background. And I worked in a cardiovascular specialty hospital as an outpatient dietitian. I did a lot of their media work. I did a lot of TV, newspaper, community events, presentations in front of other healthcare professionals and the public. And I also did a lot of booths where you got an opportunity to really interact with people, and I absolutely loved it. And now I just really like that I get to do that on my own time and teaching people about how they can really be the most effective, take the most effective route to be able to help them with prevention and wellness. And I look at it as insurance. To me, I don't know if I'm going to get sick. I know that every single day I'm working to be able to fight being sick, right? We all are. And we just really want to make sure that we're able to, sorry, I have a little piece of hair that's bothering me, that we are able to do what we can, right, in the most effective way. And that's what we're going to talk a little bit tonight. And I'm really excited to be able to be here with you and know that I have this chance to have this big impact all over. We already saw some people from Minnesota and Colorado, and just a really nice thing to be able to be in front of you guys tonight. So thank you. So we are being hijacked, and I'm being hijacked by this hair that will not bother me. Oh, stop bothering me. Good Lord. So we're being hijacked every single day, right? Whatever it is that we're doing. I was on my phone earlier. I was sitting at a basketball game earlier. I'm on my computer a lot. Every single day, I'm pumping gas, getting groceries, doing whatever. It's things I'm eating, things I'm drinking, things in the air. I wish I could have some sun damage. I'd love to be able to sit out and soak up some sun, but it's too cold here. Mold, beauty products, things we're putting in our system, right? And not only that, but also personal relationships, different things with stress levels that we have at work. Some of us can't sleep to save our life. And then also that overstimulation, like I was telling you with computers. And when we look at this, you guys, the world continues to be evolving, and we have 85,000 chemicals, and I'm sure more, that have been introduced since the Industrial Revolution. So it's just kind of a constant battle, right? And so all day and all of our life, we're working to be able to be as healthy as we can. But even if you're trying to limit your amount of exposure, this is just kind of the way life is, right? And we just have to figure out a way to adapt and protect ourselves the best that we can. And so all of this is kind of dimming the lights. So when you think of dimming the lights, what does that feel like? Well, that might be you on the couch, right? You have a decreased immune system, which right now, in the world, that's something we definitely don't want to have. We want to have that immune system like top notch, ready to go to war for us every single day, right? And brain fog. Anybody experience brain fog where you're just kind of like not able to pay as much attention as you like to, or sluggishness, bad mood? We don't have to talk about that or point any fingers. Sometimes now when we're all in the houses together, those bad moods get a little bit more apparent. Lack of motivation, fatigue, stress. There's just a lot going on, right? And a lot of us feel like this often throughout the day. So what's really happening when our light's dimming? We have all these big words that kind of go along with it, and I'll make it pretty simple as we go through. We have oxidative stress. We have a decline in our mitochondria, which are those powerhouses of our cell, and a decline in sirtuin activity. Well, what in the world is sirtuin? I laugh because it's kind of like, I always think of, how are you doing? How are your sirtuins doing? All this rhyming, right? It's so hard to be able to say, but really, how do you know? And so, one of the big parts of nutrition and my career as a dietitian so far, it's been really about knowing that you're not stuck with whatever grandma had or grandpa had or mom or dad or your siblings. You're not destined to have that issue. And I think that sometimes that can kind of overwhelm us and add to that stress that we have, where you think, oh my gosh, you know what? All this is in my family. I'm destined. This is it. This is all I've got to look forward to. And that's not true, because your environment, what you do on every single day or most days, as you're trying to take care of yourself, can make a big, big difference. And so we have the ability to talk to those genes and have them do everything they can to keep our bodies healthy. So if you had the ability to change these genes or influence these genes with a flip of a switch, and you heard me say flipping that switch earlier, right? Would you do it? And I look at this as that point right now where you're going to have rung the bell. Once I keep going, you are going to hear this and go, okay, wait, now I know. And what am I going to do with it? And you have this thing that you're going to carry around and making this decision. And that's going to be something we're going to ask you for. The person who invited you onto the Zoom tonight, they're going to ask you, hey, what do you think about this? What questions do you have? What more do you need to get started? They want to kind of see. So take in this next information and let me know. So oxidative stress, check out this apple. Oxidative stress is something that happens inside our body. So you see how cute it is now, and then it just gets gross, right? So once that is broken, that outside, it just starts to kind of deteriorate and rust, so to speak, from the inside out. That is oxidative stress. So our body's natural defense mechanism is to produce all these antioxidants to maintain the health of your cells, right? But as we get older, it's not as good at it anymore. So when you were little, you got hurt, it was no big deal. You got back up and you ran like crazy and everything healed up and you hardly even knew, right? Now, as you get older, you fall down and you really feel it and you really know what's going on. So that oxidative stress is something that we're definitely going to talk about tonight. So we want to flip that switch. So flipping the switch on that NRF2 pathway, that's the pathway that's responsible for this antioxidant production. Now, as a dietitian, I had, this whole realm of things that I would recommend. And I would guess, because you know what, you guys, you have these huge ranges of what these supplements, right, that people would be taking, how much they should have. And if you look at all your friends or people in your neighborhood or people at work, everyone's very different, right? It's not a one size fits all kind of thing. So what we want to remember is, instead of taking our antioxidants, wouldn't it be cool if we could make our own antioxidants? And that's what we can do with activating this NRF2 pathway. So taking this one pill I take mine in the morning with my breakfast, lowers my oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days. And you guys, I would stand at the foot of the bed at the hospital talking to patients in the hospital bed, right? That have had a very traumatic experience. And they're like, this is a life and death moment, right? That they've just experienced oftentimes. And I'm in there telling them how to do some of these things. And it's hard to change your diet. It's very hard, right? And you have a very good reason because you're very sick, but it's still hard. But everyone can take a pill. There's like 100% compliance with that, right? You can get that pill into your body no matter what, whether you have to break it up or whatever, you can get it in there as long as you remember. And being able to average that 40% reduction of lowering oxidative stress in 30 days is tremendous. Now, what if you changed that and took that in and made healthy food choices? So what happens is when you're lowering that oxidative stress, look how great that apple looks. It's like repairing itself, right? It's bringing it back from that old kind of yucky, rusty or deteriorated kind of sense and moving it back into its nice thing there again. So Washington State University was talking about NRF2 because it's a big deal. And if you look it up, you'll see so many things. And we'll talk about that in a second. But NRF2 activation, NRF2 is likely to be the most important health promoting approach in the foreseeable future. NRF2 may become the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of health. And that's not me saying it. That's not LifeVantage saying it. That's Washington State University saying it. Very cool. So, as we're going through and looking at our approach, look at this. You go across the bottom as your age increases, right? And your antioxidant production. And unfortunately, that antioxidant production decreases because your body's unable to produce as much, right? When you don't have your NRF2. Look what happens when you have NRF2 added. One pill, one day. Awesome, right? So you want to look it up. This is showing you exactly how to look it up, right? PubMed.gov, PubMed.gov. Look at all these amazing things. These are all places that you're probably very familiar with, at least one or two or three, right? Now, these are places that researched our products. How cool. It wasn't LifeVantage doing the research. It's these independent universities saying, hey, you guys are onto something. Oxidative stress, if we can reduce oxidative stress, how cool is that to be able to reduce that and have an impact across the board, right? They wanted to spend their money researching our product, and that is a number one huge absolute compliment. So we talked about NRF2 and that switch. Now let's talk a little bit about mitochondria and sirtuins. So mitochondrial declines is basically reducing the power of your body or the power of your cell. So our body every single day is looking for damaged mitochondria, and then they're either going to fix it, they're going to remove it, or they're going to make new, right? And just like with oxidative stress and lowering that and antioxidant production, our production of mitochondria slows down over time. So here's the switch, our NRF1 pathway. So we talked NRF2, now we're on one. This is when we're talking about increasing that mitochondria, increases that production of those NRF1 genes by nearly 70%. Very, very cool. And I always remember back in college talking about the log truck and bringing the logs to fuel the fire within our body to be able to get us that energy that we need. So when we're activating with our Protandim NRF1 Synergizer, we're putting that power back in our cells, which I think is a very, very important thing to think about. So now we're going to talk about sirtuins. It's a weird word, right? But you know, when you look at sirtuin, our body's basically trying to constantly activate this and produce more. But again, this slows down over time. And what's the role? The role of these is helping to be able to direct your cell to be able to just kind of degunk, ungunk, get rid of the yuck stuff. And I laugh because I always say yuck stuff as my general explanation. So this is one of my favorite slides with degunk because that's kind of my terminology. So it's basically activating that NAD pathway. And it's, if you've noticed, there's little across the middle, it shows you like the ingredients that are kind of putting together. And you'll see a common theme is there are about 4 to 5 ingredients in each one of these in small amounts that work synergistically together to give you this light switch, this flipping the switch ability. So basically, when you're taking this NAD synergizer, this is the next one, it increases that sirtuin activity by 100% in 24 hours. How cool. So we get those cells working the way they're supposed to, things that are supposed to get the heck out of there, get the heck out of there, the things that are getting fixed, get fixed. and the rest just keeps on going. So a very good complement. So we have sirtuins, we have NRF1, and we have NRF2. And when we have everything working in synergy, all these things working together, we get a crazy good result. So check this out, you guys. So we call those three things our tri-synergizer. So the left columns, the left two, are going to be the NRF2, just the gray area is the NRF2 by itself. The middle gray areas are the NRF1 by themselves. And on the right, the ones over there, the gray areas, are the NAD by themselves. And now look at the blue. Each one is amazing by itself, but then look what happens when you take all three together, and that blue is from that tri-synergizer. So much, much more effective. So that's kind of a fun slide to be able to take in and just to see. So are you ready to flip the switch? And what do you need to do? We want positive mood, motivation. We want to feel better. I love this healthy longevity, you know. Longevity is great, but if you don't feel good, right? We want to make sure we feel good and have a good quality of life. I also like that healthy inflammatory response. That's so important. Inflammation was something else that I lectured on all the time, along with oxidative stress. And we need some inflammation, right? Like it's important to have all those good guys going in to fix, like if you cut your hand and all of a sudden it kind of gets a little worse before it gets better. So all these good guys going in to tackle this and help figure this out, right? So that's a healthy inflammatory response, but it's not healthy to be inflamed all over and in our vessels, and that just causes more problems. So we just really want to make sure that we're doing everything we can. So look at all these great things for flipping the switch. This Protandim Tri-Synergizer with free shipping ends up to be about less than $5 a day. So less than your coffee that maybe you're going to purchase, and you can purchase it in bottles or in packs. The packs are kind of nice because you can just throw them in anywhere and take them with you. And then you don't have to mess with all the bottles. You can just tear it off and throw it in your mouth and drink some water and you're good to go. So just a couple of things I want to go through our other product line. You guys, when I started 10 years ago, we basically, our big thing at that point was our Protandim Nerf 2. That's what caught my attention. The research, the validation that we had was just amazing to me. And still, we're one of a kind. Like we have things nobody else is thinking about, which puts us ahead of the curve. But what I really like is that we're diversified now, and we have a big collection of things, not a big one, I guess, a collection of things. And we're really, really conscientious on making sure that we're not just coming up with something to come up with something. We're coming up with items that people need, that people are asking for, and wanting to make them better than everybody else's. So we have a vitality stack that has a couple of those Protandims. It also has the fish oils and the probiotic in there. We have Axio, which is a really, really cool thing. I've got some really good stories that are happening right now with Axio and concentration and focus for people. It's something that you add into a drink with the water. Throw it in a water bottle, shake it up, only 15 calories, no artificial sweeteners, no artificial colors or any of that kind of stuff, no nasty aftertaste, just all good brain food. So it's a great substitution for other high calorie beverages that you're taking in, and something that you don't have to feel bad about. It's all just good stuff. And the best part is you'll feel better. I know when I drink mine, I always think of it, the best way to describe is when you're trying on a whole bunch of sunglasses and all of a sudden you pick that one pair and everything just kind of brightens. That's the way it makes me feel. And I know that I'm not alone as being a distributor in LifeVantage, that we love our Axio. So dragon fruit, green grape, sour cherry, and we also have a decaf version of red raspberry. And honestly, you guys, red raspberry is my favorite. We make it by the pitcher here at our house for the kids and everything. So we're all digging in that instead of other things that we could be digging in. I also spent some time working in a gastroenterology office. And I so wish that I had this probiotic back then, because I just feel like we could have moved mountains. And that's kind of funny if you think about what I was trying to move when you're working in a gastroenterology office. But for real, like there's so many probiotics out there. Here's the problem is when you're taking a probiotic, it just needs a little itty bitty tiny bit of stomach acid to destroy everything you're trying to do. So it's really important that it has some sort of mechanism or construction, so to speak, to get it through that stomach acid to that small intestine where it can be broken down and utilized with your small intestine, your large intestine, and your colon. So that's the goal. Traditional probiotics, you get about 2 to 4% that gets past that stomach acid. So that's why they have so much, if you listen, they're like billions, right, of these CFUs or colony forming units. With ours, you get about 60 to 65% gets past that stomach acid because we have a biotrack technology that's kind of wrapped around the outside that gets it past that stomach acid to where it needs to be. We also have Wellmune in there. Definitely something that I will not go without. I don't go out without any of this stuff, but if I had to think of even living without this probiotic right now, I'd be very disappointed because it also has Wellmune, and Wellmune's huge as an immune enhancer, being able to help that immune system be ready to fight. And lots of good research, if you look it up on Wellmune is what it is, you can dig into it a little bit and see that it talks a lot about respiratory infections. As you can probably imagine, as a cardiovascular nutritionist, I'm a kind of a big, huge fan of fish oils. I've been talking about them forever. The problem is a lot of times they're kind of stinky, and fish oils can get rancid pretty easily, and they have to be handled very appropriately. So one of the things that I like to do is just sniff that bottle and see if it's really fishy smelling. And for years, I was having a really hard time finding a good fish oil. I have since upgraded to ours. And ours you can just put in your mouth and bite it if you want to. It's very clean, very fresh, traceable from the bottle, from the boat to the bottle, which is very nice. We also have a weight management system. I'm kind of hustling here, you guys, because I don't want to take up all your night. I appreciate your time so much. We have a weight management system that has a whey protein powder. I think it's about 15 to 18 grams of protein per scoop. Mixes easy. It's vanilla. It's my favorite one. And I can tell you 100% working in a hospital, I've tasted a lot of protein shakes. And unfortunately, they don't all taste as good as this one. This one's my favorite by far. And then we have a prebiotic. And that prebiotic is basically that food and fuel and nourishment for those probiotics. So you have those good, healthy bacteria and get that prebiotic in there to feed them and keep them healthy is very, very important for gut health. And it's also important to have good conversations between your brain and your belly because some people don't have those conversations. And so they may never feel full. So it's really important to have those good conversations going on. We also have a fat burner. I love our fat burn. Just a couple of them in the morning, and it helps to burn that fat all day. You know, we pack away a lot of that fat, and we really need to make sure that we're getting that out of there and doing the best that we can. We have a skincare line, facial cleanser, perfecting lotion, and eye serum, and anti-aging cream. I used to be that girl that would just kind of get whatever. And then I had a lot of problems with, you know, I'm tackling two things. I'm trying to handle breakouts, and I'm trying to not be wrinkly, right? So you're moisturizing to help with the wrinkles, and then you're drying out to try to be able to not have the breakouts, and it doesn't work. Our True Science has been a lifesaver for me. It's the pH of your skin. It's working to balance it out, and it's nourishing it. It's not being harsh and mean and nasty. And so it balances itself, and I'm not having that acne issue like I had before. And I really, really like that. They also have a Nerve2 activated hair care system. So we have a Nerve2 activated skin, and we have Nerve2 activated hair care. One of my favorite things about the hair care is I don't have to wash my hair as often, and it feels like $1 million. Then also people started giving NRF2 to their dogs, especially here in this area in South Dakota. We have a lot of hunting dogs, and they are put under the gun, right? Literally next to the gun when they're hunting all fall. And they have big expectations. And so they started giving Nerve2 to these dogs, and they were able to jump and do all these things and jump in the back of the truck and just handle things so much better. So they made a little chewable circle, little tab to be able to get that into your favorite canine friends. So very nice. This is all of the products. Definitely people can give you more information on that. I just wanted to do a really quick overview for you. So as you guys know, stories are always better when you share them. And I don't care if you're talking about LifeVantage, you're talking about a movie, a book, a restaurant, food, whatever, TV shows, people tell everyone all the time, right? And that's where we're at, network marketing. So if you didn't know you were at a network marketing meeting, you know now, because this is the best way to be able to get this out to people, right? It needs to be a need and business, a heart-to-heart business, a conversation where you can listen to people and see what's going on, and we offer people hope. And that's one of my favorite things. I think of myself as like a hope broker, right? Where I'm able to help them potentially and have them see a huge difference. So let me tell you a little bit about LifeVantage. So LifeVantage is 11 years old. You guys heard me say that about 10 years ago is when I joined the company. We're headquartered in Utah. And we're also publicly traded on the NASDAQ, which is really cool, right? Our stock ticker and my license plate is LFVN. This is important because, we're not just throwing out all kinds of things. We're not throwing out a bunch of fluff. I mean, these are actual facts. You can go dig into it and see what you think, right? And we're debt free. How cool is that? Debt free. We're governed by a board of people. They're executives from all kinds of different companies. And when you look at trends, health and wellness is such a huge part. But I can tell you from my standpoint, I'm not going to look at it unless there's research to back it up. There's tons and tons of health and wellness products out there. But unfortunately, many do not have that research. We do, which totally sets us aside from that. And when we look at all of those markets that I just went through, look at this, you guys. Even individually, these are huge markets. But when we pack them all together, it's over $600 billion. And there's a huge growth in all of these different companies. And when we look at this, or types of companies, and when we look at what we have, this is perfect for us right now. This was perfect for me 10 years ago. I mean, being able to have the opportunity to decide how much I work, when I work, why I'm working, who I'm working with, and being able to stay home and do it, or go to the coffee shop, or do it when I'm on vacation, or, whenever I get to do it. I mean, I have done this job from so many places. I don't even look at it as a job. I don't even know why I said job, but I've done it from the side of a swimming pool. My kids are swimming when I got to take them there instead of the babysitter that would have had to take them there in the summer. I got to be the one that sat there and do it. I get to go sit and do these things anywhere I want. And it's made it so that I have friends and community and business partners all over. So I can work from home anywhere, virtual office. I don't have to purchase a whole bunch and have the inventory at home. I don't sort. I don't do any of that. Whenever I help a customer and they order, it drop ships from our warehouse and lands in a beautiful box on their front step, and I touch nothing. I love that. We have an app. We have a personal shopping site. It's so easy to be able to do that. And I should say simple, not easy. It's simple. That it's not easy because you're kind of stepping outside of your comfort zone maybe a little bit, and you have to learn a few things about that, and you grow yourself. I thought I was perfectly fine when I started this, but it's interesting how you just learn so much about yourself, and it's a personal growth journey, and I really, really like that. So it's definitely just something that's just made such a big difference. And I love the example that I'm setting to my friends and family and my kids, seeing that anything's possible and knowing that if I work my tail off, I can get anywhere on this earnings claims disclosure, right? And one of the things I want you to look at is on that left side talks about the distributor ranks. You see those there, right? And so they're all pro levels. As you continue to enroll, you sign up your distributor. And then as you continue to make rank and get more people in your organization through customers or through distributors, you continue to go ahead further up in rank. And so do you see the second column that says average monthly commissions at paid rank? It's a little bit grayed there. Let's just look at that. So it kind of gives you an average monthly commission. So we get paid this money on the 15th of the month, right? And it's almost here. So that's always a good day on the 15th of the month. So let's look at Pro 3. That Pro 3 right there pulls in about $626 a month on average. And there's some that are making less and there's some that are making a lot more. But let's just go with the average. So just think, if you were sitting there and in the middle of the month on the 15th, all of a sudden on your dining room table, an extra $600 lands there because of work you did from home or on your phone or on your lunch break or whatever, how nice would that be? Then as you continue to move up in the ranks, we call the middle ranks the premier ranks. And so Premier Pro 5 is about $3,000 coming in every month. That's very nice, right? And then we continue to go up to the first level of the elite ranks, and that's Pro 7 with an average residual income or average monthly commission of about $13,000. And so it just kind of keeps going on from there. Now, how do you get started? What if you want to do this business? Like, how does it work? Like when I first started, there was one choice. And I didn't have a lot of options. We basically had that starter pack and then one of the pack options. So you have now a silver pack, a gold pack, and a platinum pack. And my favorite thing, you guys, is they've sweetened this deal so much, right? And so let's just look at the platinum pack because it's the biggest and we can see it real simple there on the picture. So if you look on that, that's a 35% savings. So it's $1,900 is the retail price, and you can get it for $1,250, and that includes that starter kit. And what's inside, oops, there's a little spelling error. If you guys see that, I apologize. It's something of everything, and sometimes two of some of the stuff. So when you're looking at starting a business, it's important to be able to share with people, different things about the product. So instead of starting with one or two things, this gives you that option to have some of everything. And this is when you get things at a discount. So this is your 35% savings, right? Otherwise, as a general rule, us distributors pay the same amount of money as our customers do for product. But there are other options. So if you're looking at different options like the gold pack or the silver pack, those are available to discuss too. So it just depends on what you're looking at for options. So now you're sitting there, you have a ton of information. I have filled your brain with as many things as I possibly can right now, right? And you're probably wondering, well, can I do this? And one of the important things is that you just keep in mind, that we have support. I laugh and joke because I say, hey, you know what? When you're doing this business, you're stuck with us and ITs, because that's the good part, you guys, because oftentimes when you're looking at doing something new, there aren't people to hold your hand and help you along the way. And the nice thing is that's what we do. We all look out for each other. Whether we're on the same team, different teams, we all just work together. And so just knowing that you have that as personal support, but you also have support from LifeVantage. So they have an ITT system for being able to invite your prospects and get them in front of the training materials and then get them with the team. We have different meetings every Saturday. There's an hour meeting or 2-hour meeting that is available. We have different events and corporate events. We have incentives and perks. They always dangle little extra carrots in front of us to be able to help us reach our goal. And we also have that private support community, which is really nice too. So, looking at having that system and having those people to be able to help you is so nice. And just as a way so that you don't feel like you're on your own. So a couple more things about LifeVantage. We received the best places to work in 2019 for the 3rd year running. We did have different openings, and I'll show you a second and where we are. Anybody heard of Erin Brockovich? She's on the board. A lot of people have heard of her. We've had the Stevie Award winner. We've been that for quite a few times. We were added to the Russell 3000 index. I'm just kind of going through these quick, you guys. I don't want to take up too much more of your time here. Just a really, really big deal. January 2020, we rang that bell on NASDAQ, which is super cool. There's our picture down on Times Square. And, we're also a sponsor for the Real Salt Lake soccer team. And that's a 10-year sponsorship. So, when you're looking at markets, we're open all over. So this is not just, here in your backyard. This is worldwide. And the cool part about it is as you get further in the organization, you're able to get a chunk of all of the people that are purchasing LifeVantage or working LifeVantage in the entire world. Even if they're not in your organization, you get to get some of that back to you. Because what they do is they work on having mentors in the organization. And so it makes everybody want to help each other out. And the other thing is we're very, very, very into service and doing different community projects. Whenever we do elite retreats or getting together with any of the elites, we have usually sponsored group that's locally that we work to be able to help their playgrounds, help build homes, do food, whatever it is that they need locally. They work on that project as a service project. And they also do some more building homes in Mexico, and just a really, really good feeling to be able to give back and help. Once you achieve certain things in your life, you just want to make sure that you're able to give back and do all that you can to be able to give back. So here's your question. Lots of stuff to think about, lots of stuff to mull over in your brain and your heart and to kind of see where you're at. But where do you go from here? So you heard all this information. This will be recorded if you want to hear it again. But do you need more information? Let the person that invited you know that. And maybe you're like, oh my gosh, if you're like me and you say, oh my gosh, I want to be a customer. Why did I wait this long to hear about this? I want to sign up. And where's my bottle? Are you giving me a bottle of these Tri-Synergizers right now? And then maybe somebody says, hey, why don't you just not become just a customer? How about you be a customer that joins the team? And we can help you build your business and walk with you and help you learn from us and we can teach you how we got where we are so that you can have the freedom, the choices, the friendships, the community, just like we do. So my question and my ask for this evening now is just to take a couple minutes and think about that and what you would like to do. And the biggest question, I think, is what else do you need to know before you're ready to get started? So make sure you get those things answered. You guys, I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for hopping on with me, and I hope you have a fabulous rest of your evening, and take care of yourself. And it'll be warmer soon if you're somewhere cold. So take care, and thanks again.